Welcome. Almost 5 years ago, I upgraded this iMac. It's a 2009 iMac with an SSD. And today I just want to do a little update on where this computer is now. So my wife had been using this computer until earlier this year. We swapped her to a little bit newer computer. But this is a 2009, so it's 10 years old. And I still have the SSD in it. It's a Samsung 840 EVO 500 gigabyte drive. And I'm running Mac OS High Sierra. So I had this on High Sierra before, and it was running File Vault, which can kind of have a little performance hit on the computer. But since we're not using it for critical stuff now, I wiped the system clean and put a new, fresh copy of Mac OS High Sierra on it. I'm also running the SSD fan control. It's still working. And if you've watched the other video, which I'll link to down below, this had a problem with the fan running at full speed when you take the hard drive out of it. So when you put the SSD in, it didn't have that like thermometer or thermostatic circuit in it to control the fan speed. So this software does that for you. So I still have that running in here. I'm running 8 gigabytes of memory, but you could upgrade this to 16. But where this is now is this I just keep around to run old software. So I recently upgraded my other Macs to Catalina, and I made a list as I was doing that to software that does not work on the Catalina. So I have an older version of FileMaker Pro. I think it's 8.5. Interestingly, FileMaker Pro didn't install on this computer either. It said the operating system was too recent, but it had been running on my machine that had High Sierra on it. So I installed FileMaker Pro many, many years ago. I'd upgraded Mac OS over the years, and FileMaker Pro continued to work, but it's not letting me install it on this computer. The copy of FileMaker Pro I have, though, is also compatible with Windows, so I can probably install it on a Windows machine pretty easily if I need it. I don't use it much anymore. So the other software was Digital Viewer. It came with my monoprice microscope, and that is just a video viewer. You can use QuickTime to do mostly the same thing. I had Plus Tech Scanner on here, but that I can actually remove. That seems to work with Catalina, so I don't know why I had that on there. GoPro Studio, which I don't use very often. Mac OS AIX, which is a Mosaic kind of software. Probably my favorite software on here is MPEG Stream Clip. This is super simple software for losslessly clipping audio and video files, and I use that quite a bit, but now I have to, I think I use VidCutter or something when I want to do that, or I use FFmpeg on the command line. So in the last one, I have an old version of SketchUp. So I haven't installed all this stuff on this computer yet, but as I was installing Catalina on my old computers, I made a note on here of the software that I had to remove on Catalina. Because Catalina only supports 64-bit software, and this is 32-bit software. So two things that aren't on this list because I have installed them already is Microsoft Office, and this is Office 2008 here, and it's the latest Office version that I've ever purchased. And I keep this around. You never know when I'll need it, but I use LibreOffice most of the time now. And the other software I have on here is the Adobe Creative Suite 3, and that's the latest version of Creative Suite that I had ever purchased. So I haven't subscribed to Photoshop anymore. Looks like it quit all of a sudden. And I use Affinity Designer and Affinity Photo now. I bought those on sale around the holidays, and they've been working great for what I need them for. And I keep Photoshop, and I have Illustrator, and what else do I have? I've Illustrator, Photoshop, Fireworks, Flash, Dreamweaver. I used to use Dreamweaver quite a bit, and I used Illustrator and Photoshop. But I don't really use any of them anymore. But since I have the software, I decided to install them on this old computer. What I'm doing with this computer now is I'm keeping it around to run any old Mac software. I've had it on lately. I'll probably shut it off and turn it on once a month just to make sure it's still working. But that's where it's at now. Part of the backlight in this corner, I think, has been kind of burned out too. When you see it restart, the coloring is a little different down here. But it works for like browsing the web and stuff. I'm not doing like high-tech Photoshop work on it or anything. But I just wanted to give an update. I've actually had a couple people ask if it's still running and stuff. And it is still running up until earlier this year. It was used on a somewhat regular basis. But now it's just going to be kind of a secondary computer. And I'll probably keep it around for a while. If I sold it, I wouldn't get a tremendous amount of money for it. And I can run some older software on it. So if you have any questions about this, please leave them in the comments. If you like this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate it if you could do that. and thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.